Thank you very much. Thank you. It's great to be with you this evening, and we're missing only the peanut M&Ms. I admire your commitment, a commitment that I share for Minnesota without poverty. And I took the time today to refresh myself with the Legislative Commission report to end poverty in Minnesota by the year 2020. And yet, as I look at those figures and I look at those recommendations, which are so appropriate, I think if we were to measure our situation today, 2 years later, we'd find that our state's gone in the wrong direction. And I think that when the new statistics come out from the census report, it will unfortunately confirm that even more Minnesotans are in poverty, that an even higher percentage of Minnesotans are in poverty. And, you know, there's a saying that those who fail to learn the lessons of history are doomed to repeat its mistakes. But it's also true on the converse that those who learn the lessons of history in terms of what was successful can have an opportunity to repeat or improve upon its successes. And I've been involved in all of this long enough to remember back in 1994-95, right, you should 1995, when the Republicans in Washington took over the House of Representatives. And their intent was to restrict the services that were being provided to those who were in poverty. So they capped the amount of funds that went to each state. Well, lo and behold, President Clinton and an improving economy meant that there were actually more funds available per person, and that allowed those involved in social services, those whose commitment were like yours to end poverty, to help people, extend to people a helping hand to get out of poverty, had more resources per person with which to work. And so lo and behold, they were able to do what those of you who have been involved in this work for years know, as they knew, was successful. A job at the end of the training experience that provided a living wage so that somebody working full-time could make enough money to lift their family out of poverty and to begin to achieve the American dream. And then with further training and the motivation to undertake that, could really achieve the success that everyone aspires for. And that with the funds that were available to provide daycare for particularly for single mothers, to provide transportation to job sites, to provide supportive services, whether it's writing resumes or how to present oneself, to provide all of the support that you know, and then in an improving economy, at the end of all that, a job opportunity, an opportunity to succeed. And lo and behold, those who were at that point on what was called welfare rolls went down. Those number of people in poverty went down. And so how then was it that our society failed to learn the lessons of that success? Well, unfortunately, there was a change in administration. I went to Washington as part of that in 2001. There was a change in philosophy that said that tax cuts for the rich were the higher priority. And then 2 years later, another round of tax cuts favoring the wealthiest people in this country. And then 2 wars and a recession. And so much of that progress and that gain was lost. And if I look at the recommendations in the Legislative Commission, January 2009, they offer much of the same prescription for what is necessary: an emergency jobs program with wage subsidies, income tax credits for low-income wage earners, fixing the broken health care system so that health insurance is affordable and health care is available for all, providing early childhood and daycare, child care. So we know what the ingredients are. So why is it that we as a society fail to put them together? And that's the challenge that we face. That's the challenge that an incoming administration. The report says government is not solely responsible, but government is not absolved of responsibility. Government is responsible. We, the people, are responsible. We, the society, are responsible. We're all responsible. And the difference is, of course, that we're faced in Minnesota just walking in the door with a $6.2 billion deficit for the next 2 years. That's 19% of what the state is projected to spend. When I came into government with Governor Rudy Perpich back in 1983 at the depths of another serious recession, his predecessor, Governor Al Quie, a Republican governor, had called 4 special sessions during the previous 2 years for the sole purpose of rebalancing the budget. The top income tax rate in Minnesota was 17.6%, more than twice what it is today. And Governor Perpich had a balanced budget with which to do exactly some of the recommendations of this report. Provide wage subsidies, to provide tax incentives for businesses to hire people and to provide jobs, to provide additional funding for child care and early education development. Those resources were available because his predecessor had taken the responsibility, and the legislature had taken the responsibility to balance the budget and allow them to move ahead. So different, so totally different from the crisis that we face today. So I'll be honest with you, it's going to be very difficult to enact the initiatives that I propose in my campaign, that I believe in, that I know along with you are so crucial, from fully funding early childhood education to the needs, from providing child care support, providing optional all-day kindergarten, providing wage subsidies, providing living wages. But those need to be our goals, those need to be our objectives, those need to be our commitments. So let's dedicate this decade to working together to find those solutions, to implement those solutions. Let's join the private sector, the nonprofit sector, the public sector. Let's enlist the business community in this as a cause, as a moral imperative, as an economic and social benefit to the state of Minnesota. Let's pledge that if I come back here at the end of my second term, which I hope to do, and give a valedictory, I will say we are, in 2018, ready to say that we have ended poverty in Minnesota. Thank you very much.
One other thing, sir. Governor, we want to thank you so very much, Governor-elect. We have just a small token of appreciation for you, all right? Something to sustain you in the days ahead. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
You are more than welcome. I know, they're heavy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Where's the woman who spoke earlier?
Martha. Just before you?
Yes.
Martha. Now, please turn your attention to the screen again to view in silence some of the statistics of poverty in Minnesota and the United States. And actually, we're not going to do this in silence. We have Kathleen and her dynamic duo to assist us through this portion of our program.